dokie. Welcome back to another episode of How to Run a Successful Business and Still Have a Life. My name is Stacey Morgan. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are in the throes of school holiday madness up in here. And so I'm hoping that today we can talk about ways in which to get through these school holidays. But first, today's episode is brought to you by the Simply Business Summit, which is kicking off at the start of the next school holidays. So if you don't want to feel like you feel now, and you need 3 days away at the beautiful Palm Cove in tropical North Queensland with us and some like-minded business women, taking time to reset, to refresh, to rest, and to level up your business for the rest of the year. If you'd like to join us, you can register now at simplystaceymorgan.com. Well, school holidays are always a bit of a struggle. I hope that I'm not alone in saying that, because during school holidays, you not only are trying to be fun mum, but you're also still trying to run your business and trying to do the day-to-day things that need to happen in order for your business to run. And so I really feel this struggle and really feel like this is something that is not talked about enough. Not enough people are posting on their Instagram story that this shit is hard. What we see instead is the pretty pictures of the ice cream, the trip to the ice cream store and to the picnic down by the lake. But we don't necessarily see the struggling to get everybody out of bed and out the door and start, picking up the towels off the bathroom floor and all the things that kind of go to hell during this school holiday period. So today I want to share with you what works for us, what perhaps doesn't work so well for us. And I encourage you to get in touch with me and share what's working for you as well, because these school holidays, they do turn up and they continue to turn up. And I always have such hope. Don't you start school holiday, it was like leading up to the school holidays thinking this is going to be so great. I'm not going to have to make lunches every day. It's going to be so, we're going to get quality time. And then you're in the thick of it and you're thinking, when is this going to end? How long? Why is there 2 whole weeks of holidays? At least that's how it feels for me. So the things that, really work for us is talking about it. So firstly, talking to your kids about what this time means and what is going to happen during this time. And I often try and find a balance of some kind between activities for the kids and then just downtime for the kids. And I mean that not just for the kids, but for me too, like time where the kids are going to go to activities and I'm going to get time to go to work or to take care of the responsibilities that I have, but then time as well where we're going to, do activities together, and then time where we're just going to do nothing. My kids love a pajama day more than anything. And I love that about them because I love a pajama day more than anything. And so, making sure that we have a bit of a blend of those things as part of the plan for the school holidays is really important. That means that I get to the end of the school holidays and don't feel like a dirty dishcloth that's just been, wrung out. And sometimes that's exactly how I feel. So for us, finding that balance, figuring out what is available. And, I'm the first person to say that I'm terrible when it comes to nature and about getting my kids out in nature. I need to do more of it. I'm very aware of that. I hate nature. And I'm happy to say that. I like theatres. I like velvet red curtains. I like applause and an overture. I don't like getting dirty and being outdoors. But, I'm not taking my kids to the theatre every day, and they do need to get out in the outdoors. So we have a great nature school here that has a preschool program that the kids absolutely adore, and a school holiday program that now that they're a bit older, they can join in as well. And that gives them their fix of, building forts and climbing in the mud. And I don't even know what the words are. I don't know how to explain it, but that gives them their fix of, outdoor time. And then, the holiday club runs here at our local stadium, which is, games and art and craft and movie time and just, running the kids ragged. So we find that we do a bit of a mix of those two things. And then we have a mix of time with Heath and I at home as well. And as I said, that mix is getting it right for the kids, but also getting it right for yourself is really, really important. And for Heath and I, and we're going to talk a bit about this in our next episode, how things work with Heath and I, but we find that if we are really clear on who's doing what and who's responsible for what ahead of time, so not in the heat of the moment, but at the beginning of the week, okay, what does this week look like? What are we going to need to do? Who's picking up? Who's dropping off? Who's doing bedtime? Who's doing, dinner? If we can structure all of that ahead of time, then there's a whole lot less resentment when it comes to the heat of the moment. Well, I'm not doing dinner again. I did dinner last night. Well, if I knew about it, I would have gone to the show, like all of that stuff that happens. So getting some structure to the looseness of the school holidays is what works for us. We want to know what's happening each day. We want to talk to the kids about what's happening each day and make sure they're across it, make sure they have buy-in on the activities that we're choosing for them to do and that we're putting them in, making sure that ties in with our work schedules, but also making sure that we've scheduled time during that for some downtime for all of us, downtime where we don't necessarily have to be anywhere at any certain time and we can kind of go with the flow. So I try and schedule the kids all in or all out. I find that school holiday time, because Henry's in daycare and the kids are at school, if I have days already booked aside where Henry is in daycare, those are the days that I'll use to put the kids into care. It's really counterproductive for me to have one or two of the kids at home and not have all. If one's here, then they might as well all be here. And if one's going somewhere, then they might as well all go somewhere. So I try and schedule the kids to working with the schedule that already exists. So if Henry's at daycare on a Wednesday, then on Wednesdays, that's the day that I would choose for the kids to go and do activities. And that way I actually get a little bit of time to spend a whole full work day and don't have to spend, sitting up till 11 o'clock at night getting work done because during the day I haven't had a chance to get anything done. So I really, in saying that though, on those days where we are with the kids 24/7 and we have got things, really going at full speed, I do try and do work beforehand to try and make sure that during that time, there are no deadlines. So the only work that I'm doing during that time is stuff that is not urgent or important. It's just stuff that, needs to be done, but there's no strict deadline on it. And that is really, really helpful because if I know that there's a looming deadline and someone needs something from me, I become snappy, I become grumpy, I don't become the best mum possible. And, the kids don't want to spend their school holidays with cranky pants. So I try and make sure that anything that needs to be done over those 2 weeks of school holidays gets done before the holidays start, or that I am finding time and actually scheduling in time, whether that be before the kids get up out of bed in the morning. So, doing a 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the morning, deep work session, or delegating the dinner and nighttime routine to Heath and saying, you need to take the kids for the next 3 hours because I need to do some deep work up in the office and I'm going to get it done then. Because trying to do it during the day as the kids are running around, as everything's going on, it's just, I've spent too many school holidays trying to do that where it doesn't actually work at all. So I encourage you to think about the pockets of time that you have and how you're going to use those pockets of time well, and really communicating that, not just having it in your diary and thinking about it, but communicating it with the kids, setting up your plan, setting up your structure for the day, communicating it with your partner so that they also know, what is important when it comes to the time and energy, and how that's going to be divvied up. For the kids, I always try and start school holiday days with a bit of a like family meeting, like a bit of a huddle, like a bit of a team huddle. We have those, cute little whiteboards that come from Kmart. I think they cost $2 or $3. And we have a whiteboard that goes on the kitchen bench and I'll write out the day. So from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. we might be doing free play. From 10 till 12 we might be going to the park. From 12 to 1 we're having lunch. 1 till 3 we're having quiet time. And just something like that gives the kids an understanding of what's happening next, so that they don't have to keep coming and asking me, what are we doing next? When is it lunchtime? The thing for Henry is, and this was really evident when we were in isolation, is that Henry knows that after lunch we have quiet time, and during quiet time he gets to watch TV. And he loves the Rescue Riders. And so when we were in isolation, Henry would get up and have breakfast and then come to me and say, can I have lunch? And I'll say, are you hungry, darling? Do you want an apple or do you want something else for breakfast? And he'd say, no, I want my lunch. And, you'd say, well, you can't have lunch, Henry, until the time, the clock gets to look like this. And you draw him a picture and he'd have to wait until the clock, but he's, 4. And so he's not... He's not thinking about that. He's just coming to you every 10 minutes and saying, can I have lunch yet? And it wasn't that he wanted lunch. He wasn't hungry at all. He just wanted to turn the rescue riders on, and he knew that he couldn't do that until after he'd had lunch. So it's about setting up that structure for the kids so that they know what's coming next and what's going to happen. For my kids, it's really valuable for them to know what is for dinner. And so figuring that out early in the day and putting it on that whiteboard so that they know, so they don't have to ask, so that they're not nervous about, and I say nervous because Lucinda gets so anxious when we're having vegetables. It really works her up. And, we try and have, meat and veg 3 out of the 7 nights of the week at least. And so on those days, she really gets her knickers in a knot about it. And so whatever we're having for dinner, I like to put down on the bottom of that schedule as well, so that they know what's coming up and what's going on. And so they also know what, they have to do and what the terms of the agreement is. And I use the example of quiet time after lunch. Quiet time happens after lunch, but it also doesn't happen until everybody's rooms and the toy rooms are tidy. The toy room is tidy. So it's, that goes on the whiteboard too. So they know it's not just a eat your peanut butter sandwich and then sit in front of the TV situation. It's those rooms have to be clean. And so we put that up. And for the younger ones, because, Henry can't read, so we have to draw little pictures alongside of it as well, so that he understands what on earth all of that garble on the whiteboard means. And when we talk through it early in the morning in our early morning huddle, he, hopefully has some understanding of exactly what's going on. But those are the things that are working, for us in terms of school holidays, that setting that schedule, knowing what's going on, booking the kids in, all in or all out. And then, scheduling that downtime so that we do have the ability to just do nothing or to do things on our own schedule. Last holidays, I have to share this with you because this was such a highlight. The kids got Nerf guns off their auntie and uncle and cousins for Christmas. And so Patrick was desperate, especially Patrick was desperate all the time to do gun battles. And I said to the kids, this is, we can do a 10-minute gun battle. I don't want the guns going off all day, every day, and, be constantly trying to dodge bullets. We'll do, we'll have some playtime and then we'll do a 10-minute gun battle. And so I made sure that everybody had a gun, including Heath and myself. And we put on the TV on our Spotify account, Eye of the Tiger. Boy, did we have some fun. If you haven't had a gun battle, to the Eye of the Tiger soundtrack, and then if you put Eye of the Tiger on from the actual Rocky soundtrack and let it play into the next track, which is like the montage music, and just enjoy the theatrical experience that is having a gun battle with your children to that music, then I highly encourage you to do so these holidays. And even if you perhaps don't have any Nerf guns handy, if you instead want to just do a bit of a Rocky workout, the musical lift that you'll get is well and truly worth it. So let me know how you're spending your school holidays and whether or not you get to your own gun battle. I would love to hear about it. You can reach out to me at any time. I am at Simply Stacey Morgan on Instagram, and my website is simplystacymorgan.com. You can reach me at hello@simplystacymorgan.com. I appreciate you listening. If you haven't left us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts, please do. And if you haven't booked your spot at the Simply Business Summit, I would really love for you to join us next school holidays, at the start of the next school holidays. It's the 3 days leading into those school holidays. Please come and join us for some rest, for some relaxation, for some learning, for some, time with like-minded women, for some inspiration. I really, really do hope you can join us in the beautiful Palm Cove at the gorgeous Sea Temple for the Simply Business Summit. I appreciate you listening. Next week, we're talking all things marriage. I'm going to share with you my secret weapon when it comes to divvying up responsibilities in our house. And I do hope you can join me for that episode. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next week.